Women don't care what you do for them, but how you make them feel. If she feels strongly about you, she's going to make sacrifices for you. She would shift ground for you, not necessarily because you've done one very big gesture, but because of the way you make her feel. Now, a lot of guys are always asking, how do I even know if this woman loves me, if she truly cares for me, if I'm not walking into lines then? It's very simple. Look at the patterns. What is she willing to do for you? If a woman doesn't really care about you, no matter how much she pretends, if you pay close attention, you're going to see the pattern. And this is the reason why a lot of men come out lately to complain that, oh, she pinned the baby on me. Oh, I just discovered that my first two children are not even mine. Oh, she's cheating. She's not always in the mood for sex. The signs were there. You just did not pay close attention. I have witnessed a man who married a woman who chose him out of convenience, and I can tell you this for sure. It does not end well. So this guy liked this woman, he went for her introduction. I was present at that introduction. I would never forget. There was food, the drinks, people were happy, folks were happy. Like, I mean, at least it seemed so. Fast forward to some months after that, in the middle of preparation for the wedding, this woman began to develop cold feet, and then she came up with this excuse that, oh, and my mom prayed, and it's not really a thing that God wants us to pursue for now. It's very convenient. A lot of people are using this line to deceive people because only God truly knows what the things he has said and the ones he did not say. And the thing is that there is no way we can verify this thing. The moment you tell me God told you, I don't surrender. I cannot. Will I argue with God? Back to the story. This guy moved on, or at least it seemed like he moved on. But after some time again, the lady began to warm up to him. And before we know what was happening, they are back together again and they are now back to planning the wedding. How do you go from God said we should take a halt and now we want to continue? Like, I am not understanding. And that is why sometimes when you look at some relationships from afar, like remove yourself from the box and look at the whole situation from afar, you'll be able to see things that those who are in that situation can't even see because emotions are beclouding. They will cloud your judgment. You can't even see clearly. You can't even really reason, especially when a man truly loves a woman and he's just seeing everything good. Of course, it's always good for you to see the good in your partner, but not when it is at the detriment of your own well-being. Now, what happened? They got married, and I can tell you from the beginning of that marriage, it was never a happy relationship for that guy. He suffered emotional abuse, he suffered physical abuse. When they talk about domestic violence, the first thing that comes to mind is women. Women are more at danger, more at risk of being domestically abused in a relationship compared to men. That might be true, but newsflash, in this 2026, men are also suffering domestic abuse. This guy was receiving slaps from his wife and from his mother-in-law. We didn't really know about all of this until it was late. This guy was still shielding this woman in the midst of all of this abuse. He was still trying to protect her from people finding out what she was really doing. Why? Because he still cares for her. Have you ever imagined a woman who would leave a man on a sick bed and just travel? Like, whatever happens to him, she doesn't care. Hey, see, if you want to marry a woman, make sure that she at least likes you. A lot depends on that. That is one of the biggest decisions you're going to make in your entire life because it will determine your future. Unfortunately, this guy passed on to the great beyond. In the midst of all of that abuse and sadness. Now, this is not the type of story I like to share, but then I had to just tell you this to let you understand that marrying someone is a huge decision. Marrying a person who is kind, who at least likes you, it should be your goal. Like, it should be one of your goals when it comes to relationship. Except, of course, you don't want to marry the person. And then the thing is that you set out and go into relationships with the mind that, oh, I'm not going to marry this woman. She's not the type. She's not my type. I don't want her. But at the end of the day, what happens? What if she becomes pregnant for you and then you end up marrying her? What kind of person is she? Is she a kind person? Does she even at least like you? What will she do when your money finishes and maybe you're not able to provide? One thing I know about us women is that sometimes we make decisions to marry a particular man based on convenience. Because of course, we have the biological clock which is ticking ick by the day. And of course, you look around you, all your mates are married, this one is in her home, all of that. And sometimes because of societal pressure, a lot of us tend to pick men who we did not originally like, just to be able to have that status of, oh, I'm married, I am a missus. But the question is, what happens at the back end of that relationship? Forget the pictures, forget what you see on social media. What is really happening at home? That man struggled to meet up with her standards and expectations, which he couldn't because he didn't have the type of money she wanted. Now, the revelation is that this woman had someone overseas who had promised her marriage. And of course, you know, when people are overseas, it is perceived that they have a lot of money. But then the guy did not follow through as such. He fell back to the option that was available. Like I said, sometimes we choose men out of convenience. Okay, at all now, you know, half bread is better than puff. That is not even the problem. Fine, you choose this guy in the absence of nothing, but it doesn't always end there. If that guy is not able to fill in those shoes, those criteria, those standards you have in your head, what happens? You begin to resent the man. Resentment will grow from resentment to become hate, from hate to become pure wickedness. Because I can't even imagine a man being beaten by his wife, his mother in law. Like, how crazy can it be? How bad can it get? So then again, I say, please, for the love of God, marry who like you, follow who like you. This thing is simple, oh, because you'll be thinking that, oh, no be woman, I'll put her in her place. What if you're not able to? Because in life, we set out to do things that we only know about now. I do not know what is going to happen in the next 5 minutes, in the next 10 minutes, in the next 10, 15, 20 years. All I know is now, and all I have to work with is what I have now. Okay, so what is the pattern I'm seeing right in front of me? Who is this woman? Is she a kind person? Does she like you? What is she willing to sacrifice for you? If you do not check on her, does she go out of her way to try and see if you're even okay? Or is it that anytime she calls you, it's just billing, billing, billing? Oh, I need them this. My fridge is empty. I want to go out this weekend and I'm coming out with my friends. And you're just there bankrolling and bankrolling. And what is she really doing for you? Because I know that there's a lot of narrative that, yeah, a man, you just need to spread the money and have the money. Fine, it's good to have the money, but sometimes withhold a little bit and just watch this person. Watch if at the core of themselves they are kind. Because honestly, this one thing is going to go a long way into determine how your life is going to turn out to be. You might be thinking that I will make it work. I will continue to work hard. My money can never finish. Now, this is not to throw in the wet blanket, but what if it doesn't? Life is full of uncertainty, like I said. Plan with what you have now, what you see in your front now. Gone are the days where we marry potentials. Oh, my potential did first. What am I seeing with my clear crocodile eyes? So, like I said in the beginning of this video, women do not really care about what you do for them, but how they feel about you and what they feel about you is going to determine how they treat you, how they treat your loved ones, how they treat your extended family. Because love is transferable. So the message is follow who like you. What that means is look for a woman who is genuinely interested in you, who loves you, who likes you, who just enjoys your company. She just likes who you are. Look for that. Don't be blinded by looks, they fade. Don't be blinded by body shape. E go fade. 1, 2, 3 pikin. E don bush. Everywhere don. See, open your eyes. A word they say is enough for the wise. And thank you so much for watching. I really hope and pray that you find a very healthy and mutually fulfilling relationship. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.